Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Sharan. As a part of e-learning session, in the last previous classes, we have been discussed about introduction of the denture-based resins, history of denture-based resins, in particular about chemistry of polymerization in detail. I have revised you many times, almost 2 classes for chemistry of polymerization. Now, as a part of today's e-learning session, we will discuss about in depth of the properties of the polymers. Just a very brief differentiation between addition polymerization or condensation polymerization. Addition polymerization is otherwise called as chain polymerization. Condensation polymerization is otherwise called as step growth polymerization. In this, the monomer must have at least one multiple bond. Example is your ethylene, acetylene, etc. Whereas in condensation polymerization, the monomer must have at least two identical or different functional groups. Example, glycol. In this in addition polymerization, monomers add on to give a polymer and no other byproduct is formed. Here, byproducts are formed such as alcohol, water, etc. Whereas number of monomeric unit decreases steadily throughout the reaction, whereas monomers disappear at the early stage of reaction. Higher molecular weight of polymers are formed. Here molecular weight of the polymer rises steadily through the reaction. Okay. Longer reactions times gives higher yield but have a little effect on molecular weight. Whereas longer reaction times are essential to obtain higher molecular weight. Molecular weight of the polymer is an integral multiple of molecular weight of monomer. Molecular weight of polymer need not be an integral multiple of monomer. Thermoplastics are produced. Example, polythene, PVC, etc. Thermosetting plastics are produced from the condensation polymerization. Example, bakelite, urea, formaldehyde. Homochain polymer is obtained. Heterochain polymer is obtained. This is in case if they ask you about differentiation between addition polymerization and condensation polymerization for 4 marks questions. If they have been given for 2 marks questions, just you can write it is otherwise called as chain polymerization. It is otherwise called as step growth polymerization. Byproducts are formed, byproducts are not formed, and you can write about molecular weight, right? Now, a brief classification of these polymeric resins. Based upon their origin, they have been classified into natural resins and synthetic resins. Examples for natural resins are gum, whereas synthetic resins examples are thermoplastic, thermoset, synthetic elastomers. Based on thermal behavior, they are classified into thermoplastic and thermoset. Right? Then, what do you mean by these thermoplastic and thermosetting polymers? Thermoplastic polymer is defined as a macromolecule material made of linear or branched chains that softens when heated above the glass transition temperature, at which molecular motion begins to force the chains and soften the polymer. Thermoplastics, once heated above the glass transition temperature, molded to a new shape and then cooled and below the glass transition temperature to retain the new configuration. That is thermoplastic. It is the definition given in the Phillips textbook. If they ask you for 2 more questions, you have to write this definition. Then what about thermosetting polymer? Polymeric material that becomes permanently hard when heated above the temperature at which the polymerization occurs and that does not again on reheating to the same temperature, right? That is the definitions of thermoplastic and thermosetting. If we we shortlist the differentiation, then in thermoplastic resins will be softened and molded under heat and pressure, whereas final product cannot soften by reheating. Here no chemical change. In thermoset it sets by chemical reaction. Soluble inorganic solvents and fusible, whereas they are insoluble organic solvents and infusible. Example, impression compounds, acrylic resins, and they are superior abrasion resistance. You can add here also it sets by addition polymerization, it sets by condensation polymerization, and even the differentiation which comes for addition polymerization we can add up here also, right? This is about thermoplastic and thermoset. So here you have constantly listened one word, glass transition temperature. So before discussing in detail about the properties, we should have some idea about glass transition temperature, right? Other classification is based on structural units. They have been classified into vinyl resins, polystyrene, acrylic resins, epoxy resin, multifunctional acrylate resins. We will discuss in some points about acrylic resins and multifunctional acrylate resins, right? And a small idea about molecular weight of dental polymers. For example, the of number or average molecular weight for various commercial dental polymers typically varies from 8,000 to 39,000. Whereas cross-linked teeth, after cross-linking, what happens to your molecular weight? Whether it is increases or decreases? Absolutely, the molecular weight will be increased. That's why denture teeth with cross-linked teeth may have a much higher molecular weight. We have been discussed about cross-linking. What is cross-linking? I think you have an idea. I said something about bonding. You go through it, then again understand. Okay? Then what do you mean by number average molecular weight and weight average molecular weight? This is for your understanding. I have kept this number average molecular weight is the weight of polymer divided by the number of polymer molecules. This average molecular weight follows the conventional definition for the mean value of any statistical quantity. In polymer science, it is called as number average molecular weight, the total weight of the molecules presented divided by the total number of molecules. Right? This is not so important, but just remember number average molecular weight. Whereas weight average molecular weight, it is the probability factor in a weight average considers the mass of the molecule so that the heavier molecules of the polymer segment are more important. Right? Consider of a polymer property which depends not just on the number of polymer molecules but on the size or weight of the polymer molecule, right? In general, molecular weight average molecular weight will be greater than average molecular weight. This is a little idea about what is molecular weight, whether this molecular weight with cross linking increases or decreases. Thus I have given an idea, right? Then the important one which is frequently asked for 2 marks questions is degree of polymerization, right? What do you mean by degree of polymerization? It is number of repeating units in the chains of which a polymer is made up is called as degree of polymerization. Polymers with high degree of polymerization are called the what? High polymers, and those with low degree of polymerization are called as oligopolymers. High polymers have a higher molecular mass and are called as macromolecules. Obviously, they will become the macromolecules in the dental polymers, right? Then coming to properties, first I already said just a small idea about glass transition temperature. What is glass transition temperature? Remember, it is an important 2 marks question. The glass transition temperature is the temperature at which an amorphous solid becomes soft upon heating or brittle upon cooling. The glass transition temperature is lower than the melting point of its crystalline form if it has one. This is the explanation about glass transition right? Once again I repeat you, it is the temperature at which you can say it as a molecular motions become such that whole chains are able to move. It is close to the softening temperature of a particular material. At this temperature, sudden change in elastic modulus will be occurred. Amorphous polymer below glass transition temperature behaves as rigid solids, while above glass transition temperature they behave as viscous liquids, flexible solids, or rubbers. So, the chain branching and molecular weight will always have an effect on this or will depend on this glass transition temperature. Increased chain branching, that means if the chain branching increases, then absolutely there will be decreased glass transition temperature. Whereas if cross number of cross links increase, then glass transition temperature is also that means the softening temperature is also increasing, right? So that's why I have kept a separate slide for you for this glass transition temperature. This glass transition temperature definition, no doubt you have tried about GPT definition. But in order to explain this, I have found out the searched in Google or searched in textbooks. I referred with many textbooks, and I have prepared a separate PPT for this properties of the polymers. Might be this I have taken the slides from the I am frankly saying I have taken these slides from the Google or different PPTs because there is no such PPTs exclusively for the properties of the polymers. But for your understanding purpose, I have made a separate PPT for the properties of the polymers and I am discussing. Right? Then how the effect of molecular weight on the properties. In many polymers, the chains are held together by secondary or van der Waals forces and molecular entanglement. Materials of high molecular weight have a greater degree of molecular entanglement and have greater rigidity and strength and higher values of glass transition temperature and melting point than your lower molecular weight polymers. So this is a small explanation about your glass transition temperature, right? Then coming to actual physical properties of the polymers, right? So these physical properties of the polymers is nothing but deformation and recovery of the polymers. The how it depends upon the applied forces within the polymers. When we apply a force within the when the applied forces within the polymer produces, it may can produce plastic deformation, that means a permanent change, and elastic, that is reversible, then viscoelastic, that is combination of both. In viscoelastic, recovery occurs over the time, right? So I have very short listed the properties of the polymers. I have mentioned or I am mentioning only the important points in the properties. Right? There has been a large explanation regarding this in the properties topic of the polymers. Have a go through about these properties and learn in detail. I am mentioning the important points which should be highlighted when you are writing in theory paper or when we will get the viva voice, right? Then which factors affect the physical properties of the polymer? They are degree of polymerization, crystallinity, chain branching, molar mass distribution, that is which depends on the molecular weight. Then stereo regularity, that is how an isoelectric arrangement of function group of backbone of the carbon skeleton. Strength may vary with the temperature and the formula, right? Then same mechanical properties. These mechanical properties also depends upon the applied forces within the polymer. It produces a stress. As I said, it produces stresses within the polymers that causes materials to deform via, I already discussed, plastic strain, that is plastic deformation, elastic deformation, viscoelastic deformation, right? So both physical and mechanical properties, they depend upon the applied forces which are occurring within the polymer. They can produce permanent deformation, right? Reversible deformation or viscoelastic, combination of the both, right? Then Important properties of polymers are rheometric properties. That is, rheometric means this rheometric you have got as an S2 marks question or 4 marks question, I don't know, in your previous recent dental materials paper, right? So it comes under properties also. So what do you mean by rheometric property of the polymer? The rheometric or flow behavior of solid polymer involves a combination of elastic and plastic deformation and elastic recovery when stresses are eliminated, right? Then what are solvation properties? What are solvation properties? Okay, then in this rheometric properties, as I already said, we have to say about plastic flow, elastic recovery. In plastic flow, irreversible strain behavior that occurs when polymer chains slide over another and become relocated within the material, resulting in permanent deformation, right? Branching and cross-linking impede plastic flow. That's how this plastic flow will occur in the geometric properties, right? Similarly, elastic means elastic strain behavior that occurs in the amorphous region of the polymers when the randomly coiled chains straighten and then recoil, right? And then recoil like springs that return to their original location. That means plastic flow means plasticity. I already said plastic means it's a permanent deformation. Elastic means elastic recovery. Okay. Then what about your solvation and dissolution properties? Polymers are usually slow to dissolve and are seldom clearly either soluble or insoluble in any particular liquid, right? Also their solvation properties or characteristics are very sensitive, right? And the following are the polymer solvation characteristics relevant to dental use, right? In simple, the longer chains, the higher the molecular weight, the more slowly a polymer dissolves. Polymers tend to absorb a solvent, swell, and soften rather than dissolve. Any dissolution occurs from the swollen state. Right? Elastomers swell more easily and to a greater than do plastics. Right? So, in simple, we can say it as polymers are usually slow to dissolve. That means their solubility is slow. Solvation characteristics are very sensitive to molecular weight, weight average molecular weight, and number average molecular weight, cross linking, crystallinity, and chain branching, as I discussed earlier. Then, if they are highly cross linked, they will not dissolve properly. Polymers absorb a solvent, swell, and soften rather than they dissolve. That means they usually swell when they absorb anything, right? Soften rather than they dissolve, right? You can see in the figure, elastic recovery, springle like behavior, rapid and reversible, chains uncoil but they do not slip past one another because of crystalline regions, entanglements, and crosslinks. Thus they recoil completely when loaded. See in the picture, first when the applied force are occurred, then they stretches. Then if the load continues and no additional stretching, the chain length continues. When it is unloaded, full recovery occurs. Then in the below picture, you can see the viscoelastic recovery, chain stretches and uncoil and also slip past one another, producing plastic irreversible permanent distortion and partial recovery when unloaded. Same thing when load continues, sometimes in the viscoelastic it slips onto the other molecule and leads to the what? Plastic deformation, right? Then thermal properties. Thermal properties are higher the temperature, softer and weaker the polymer. Polymers can be formed into many desired shapes depending on which the polymeric material is thermoset or thermoplastic. I already discussed how the thermoset will be occurring, how thermoplastic resins will be. Then what do you mean by thermoplastic, what do you mean by thermoset, and how the molecular weight depends, what is the glass transition temperature. So that all also will we can discuss once again comes under this glass transition temperature, right? Then there are some aesthetic properties and chemical stability, biological compatibility, right? So sorry, sorry. Then which properties, which are aesthetic properties, which are chemical stability? I think aesthetic property, the material should exhibit sufficient translucency or transparency so that it can be made to match the appearance of the oral tissue that it replaces. It is nothing but about aesthetic properties. If it is more translucent, then it can be more aesthetic. Then the resin should be colorless and incapable of being tinted or pigmented, and there should be no change in color or appearance of the material subsequent to its fabrication. Then, similar to the biological compatibility. Biological compatibility means biocompatibility. Then it should not be causes any biodegradation, or it should not be any harmful. Because when you are manipulating your self cure resins and heat cure resins, if it react to you, what happens? It leads to the allergic reactions, or it may lead to the inflammation reaction. So that's why. So it all depends upon your again properties. That's all they be given in the biological stability. Similarly, chemical stability should be chemically stable and can withstand the all the conditions without deterioration. And the finally economic considerations, right? Then this picture you can see how a polymer depends upon the right, how a polymer depends on the effect of polymer chain branching and cross linking on mechanical and physical properties. How it becomes, how it, if it is cross linked, how it happens, if it is branched and linear, etc. Rigidity, strength and melting temperature increases as polymer chain grows and molecular weight increases. You can see in the picture, if it is going more, molecular weight is increasing, then it is more hard and rigid, right? Then a little idea about molecular organization and you can say chain length, right? In some polymers, the chains are randomly coiled and entangled in a very disordered or random pattern known as an amorphous structure. Then, right, in this amorphous structure, the chains are randomly coiled and entangled. So that one we call it as a amorphous structure. In others, the chains align themselves to form a highly ordered or crystalline structure. Highly ordered. If it is highly ordered, it is a crystalline structure. If it is randomly ordered, it is an amorphous structure. Most polymeric materials combine these two forms of organization in greater or lesser proportions. Characteristically, the linear dental polymers are predominantly amorphous with little or no crystallinity. Right? We will discuss the crystallinity in detail in next coming slides. Okay? This will be how a chain molecular organization and chain branching will arrange. You can see in this picture how a polymeric chains are randomly arranged in the left side of the picture, how they are tightly arranged or highly packed in the right side of the picture. It is crystallinity and the previous one is amorphous structure, right? So a little idea about crystallinity and polymer structure. A polymer structure affects crystallinity a good deal if its regular and orderly, it will pack into crystals easily. If it is not, it won't. It helps to look at polystyrene to understand how this works. Right? Polymers are never completely crystalline. Crystalline regions with amorphous regions are together. Polymer is crystalline if all molecules are arranged in an orderly manner with systemic orientation. So you can see polymers are they will be never crystalline. They will be combination, and this crystallinity degree or degree of crystallinity depends upon degree of polymerization and tacticity. Amorphous polymers do not possess melting points, but they usually possess high softening points, whereas crystalline polymers possess high density, sharp melting points from their strong brittle, but they are hard, right? Highly crystalline polymers are rigid, high melting, and less affected by solvent penetration. Crystallinity makes polymers strong but also lowers their impact resistance. And as the degree of crystallinity same. And factors affecting the crystallinity: temperatures, cooling rate from the mold temperature, injection pressures, application of the tensile stresses, particularly for crystallization of the rubber, and a little idea about methyl methacrylate, polymethyl methacrylate, and multifunctional methacrylate resins. Just if you read also, you can understand this is nothing to explain the how a methyl methacrylate is present, how the arrangement is present, what is the chemical formula, all these things there is no nothing to explain here. Only how what is the molecular weight, what is the melting point, what is the boiling point, what is the density, how what is the heat of polymerization, how it looks like a transparent liquid at room temperature, and what are the physical properties, all these will be clearly explained in your textbook. Similarly, this is the structure of the methyl methacrylate, how a double bond is present, what are the chemical formula, everything. Similarly, polymethyl methacrylate, same. That's nothing, because if I study also slide, it will be like a studying a slide. Just I have kept a slide. What are the important properties in polymethyl methacrylate, right? You go through your all the written matter in your textbook, you can clearly understand. That's it's nothing to just you have to study and by heart all the properties. That's it. Okay, and this is the chemical formula of the polymethyl methacrylate. And these are some multifunctional methacrylate and acrylic resins like your BIS-GMA, bisphenol glycol dimethacrylate, whereas and DECDMA molecule, UDMA molecule. Here nothing but how a polymer chain is arranged. In BIS-GMA, the central part of the molecule is particularly stiff because of its restricted rotational ability due to steric hindrance between the two rings with flexible polymethyl methacrylate and groups. Then how hydrogen bonding occurs, and similarly DECDMA and UDMA, because all this again you will be discussing in your composites and everything. Just a brief idea about how the arrangement is present. Similarly, pentap molecule. Here the pentap molecule is a multifunctional monomer, contains a phosphate group, a 5 polymerizable acrylate groups. The phosphate group can etch enamel and dentin surfaces and promote adhesion, whereas 5 acrylate groups increases polymerization reactivity and cross-linking ability. And here this is a polyacrylic acid groups with multiple methacrylate groups as well as the carboxylate groups, how they react, right? So this is a brief idea about methyl methacrylate, polymethyl methacrylate, and multifunctional methacrylate. Again, they will be explained in detail when the person or when the lecture is about composite resins. So this completes your dental polymers, that is your chemistry of polymerization, properties, introduction, history, and everything. In the next class, we are going to discuss actual denser based resins, that is your self cure, heat cure, what are the physical stages, what is the injection molding, what is compression molding, how it will be taking, and everything in the coming e sessions. Okay, thank you.